Governments, and in particular the UK government, useless at IT, aren't they? Or actually are they? We think there's an awful lot that corporates and other organisations can learn from what the government does in IT. And yes, we've all seen or heard of these very high-profile failures and wasted money on large projects. But government does difficult things, and there's not many other governments that they can use from. And the UK is seen to be one of the leaders in the public space. And yes, there have been some high-profile disasters, but because these are public servants spending public money, they're very visible and they have to own up to them. There have been some very high-profile disasters with corporates, but they don't have to tell the world about them. They just might be reflected on a slightly poorer result or a slightly worse business performance, but they don't have to say we actually made a mistake. But what government does is it runs large, complex and complicated IT. It thinks deeply about it, and a lot of the stuff that we use day to day today actually came from our dear old government, and in a lot of cases they've given it to us to use. So, most of us use ITIL for our service operations. Where did ITIL come from? Well, in those days it was called the Central Communications and Telecommunications Agency. They are the guys that actually sat down and wrote the manual on how to run an IT service operation. Now yes, people knew how to do it, but they didn't make it publicly available and give it effectively as a gift to the world to say this is how you run an effective IT service. And most of us now run our IT operations to ITIL. Likewise, they've helped. They didn't actually do this, but in conjunction with the British Computer Society and some other vendors, they turned up with a framework which we use extensively as Fordway, called the Skills for the Information Age. This maps and defines the 90+ job roles that you need to run an effective enterprise IT operation. It defines them, it grades them, but most importantly, it gives you a template for, first of all, understanding what skills and capabilities your team have at the moment, and particularly when you're dealing with change and transformation, what skills that they will need as they go through and then need to realise the benefits of making that change. And it's all mapped out. It's there. You pay a small licence fee and you can use it. And finally, and probably most importantly, one of the most pressing topics for all of us today is security. But government's been doing IT security for years. They have agencies. They have defined very clearly different levels of security and information classification that tells us how we should treat sensitive data, very sensitive data, or really, really top secret data. And all of this again is available so that we can apply those to help you run a better, more efficient operation and analyse and improve the security that you run your services to. So I think we should give the UK government quite a big thank you for helping us run better IT services for our own organisations.